And we saw that. Anyway, top of the hour, every hour, ladies and gentlemen, as you've seen a noticeable dip in the subscription numbers. That's because it's top of the hour, every hour, where we do a 60-second ad break. So right now, if you would like an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 a month with a regular Twitch subscription, or you can do it for free with an Amazon Prime account. If you don't have an Amazon Prime account, you can yoink someone else's Amazon Prime account and connect it to your Twitch. Gives you one free subscription that you can use on your favorite streamer a month. That could be me. If it is me, you can use it now, but it's ad time regardless.
And in fact, then when we got to the midterms, it got even worse because a bunch of our folks stopped voting and we lost the House too. So I say all this, I'm giving this history for a reason. The promise of the Biden presidency and the Harris vice presidency rests in part on their ability to have a cooperative posture with Congress. And
watch Joe Biden's speech he's giving right now. We already saw that. If the Senate controlled Republicans who are interested in obstruction and gridlock rather than progress and helping people, they can just blog about anything. Once Mitch McConnell was controlling that gavel and agenda in the Senate, we saw a lot of progress halt. Even before that. I mean, he's right, by the way. This is precisely why the fucking Senate runoff races in Georgia, while they will be while they will be very difficult, are incredibly important. Like, they're difficult to win, but regardless, they are super fucking important. No matter what kind of tepid neoliberal agenda Democrats want to pass, they won't even be able to do that without those fucking seats. That's the reality, okay? It's something that I stress all the fucking time. It's part of the reason why I defended Nancy Pelosi in the original stimulus conversations, because Mitch McConnell just straight the fuck up refused, okay? Will Democrats turn around, even if they win majority in the Senate? Will Democrats turn around and advocate for, again, some fucking bullshit, middle of the ground, marginalist approach? I'm not making a promise that they won't. They could do that, but it doesn't matter, because on the one hand, you have nothing. On the other hand, you have at least something, like a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say we can push the Biden administration left. Or I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, like, oh, yeah, everything will be solved by voting for the Democrats. It won't be. It won't be. I'm sorry. But ultimately, we're still better off with more Democrats in the Senate than not. Do you plan on covering the GA debate on Sunday? I saw CNN and Fox promoting it, which means it'll be on C-SPAN. Yeah, I'll cover it, of course. I will cover... Are you going for the Freddie Mercury or Hitler look? Did Hitler famously have a full mustache? I thought the famous thing about Hitler's mustache was that it wasn't full. Like, it wasn't a full mustache. It was just like a little bit in the middle. So why is any mustache is Hitler now? He's not the only person who said that, by the way. Like, a couple other people also said that shit, and I don't fucking get it. I guess they're just trying to get a rise out of me or something. So yeah, Bernie is opposing the $908 billion coronavirus relief package. I'm sure they will use this as like a... Have you touched on Delaney's plan to provide stimulus checks to only those who get vaccinated? Yeah, that would be insane. That you can't do that. The stash makes you think you're like a cocaine dealing pedophile or something. Makes me think you're like a cocaine dealing pedophile. Yeah. Okay, I meant for sure put Bernie Sanders in the headline specifically to make him look bad and buried the reason for it in the article. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about John Boehner, marijuana legalization. Last night, New York RC allegedly snuck into the New York Young Republican Club, or allegedly snuck into Jersey City to hold a gala fundraiser, ignoring our social distancing and mask rules. It is beyond the pale that anyone would willingly endanger people in another state. Jersey City law enforcement is investigating this matter. It is also beyond the pale that Representative Matt Gaetz would participate in this. What a fool. Matt. And this is, dude, this is the most New Jersey thing you can say. Matt, you are not welcome in New Jersey, and I frankly don't ever want you back in this fucking state. That's the governor, Phil Murphy. Hey, frankly, you are not welcome in my fucking state, and I don't want to I don't ever want you back in this fucking beautiful state. It's true. Yeah, we're putting a fucking hit out on the Ugats. Matt Gaetz, more like Matt Ugats. What happened? Republican legislature let down America. I'm ashamed of them. They completely misled the president and me. All of us Republicans let them know what we think of them. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if like Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, is like doing a psyop along with Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell. But it feels like they are actually agitating against voting in Georgia. It seems like it's rather odd. Oh, Pence is campaigning.
Finally, as you leave here today, I hope you tell people what we talked about. Share this same passion you shared with all of us. Tell them what the stakes are. Tell them the difference that one vote can make here in the state of Georgia. And have faith. You know, we may not know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future.
None of you motherfuckers, y'all look like you're gonna die tomorrow.
In these challenging times in the life of our nation, I'd encourage you to avail yourself of that wellspring of strength from which the people of this state and this nation have drawn throughout our history.
Listen, if you consider telling Republicans in your vicinity as Bernie bros that you yourself didn't vote for Joe Biden because you thought that, the DNC had stolen the election from you, the rightful victor, Bernie Sanders. And that's why Republicans also probably should not participate in this failure of an electoral process by not voting for Loeffler and not voting for Perdue in Georgia. If you were to do that as a Bernie bro, I wouldn't tell you not to do it. I wouldn't sit here and tell you, oh no, agitating Republicans to not vote for the runoffs. Oh no, my friend, don't you dare do that. I wouldn't stand in front of you if you were to tell people that you yourself never voted, even if you voted, doesn't matter. You yourself never voted for Joe Biden because you knew that he stole the election from Bernie Sanders, just like he stole the election from Donald Trump. And that's why you got to stick it to the Republican Party, who are a bunch of feckless cowards who did nothing to stand by their own Emperor, Lord Savior, Donald Trump, who himself is now being held hostage by the Republicans. And that's precisely why he is going on Saturday to go to Georgia and advocate for Loeffler and Perdue. If you were to say that, like, don't even believe Donald Trump's words on Saturday, he is just forced to do this. And instead, the only way to show your fealty to what Donald Trump represents, what MAGA represents, is by not voting in the Georgia runoffs as a Republican, or even voting for the Democrat. Oh God, I mean, who could think of that? But if you were to do that, and if you were to say that to these Republicans, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. And by the way, if Democrats had like literally fucking a quarter of the interest, like a quarter of a percentage point of the interest that Republicans do in winning, they would literally be doing what I'm saying right now. There is not a better layup for them to just like build a fucking secret super PAC that funds like Republican agitprop, saying like using Donald Trump's words to make it seem like Donald Trump does not want you to vote for fucking Loeffler. Like, there is not a better way to utilize this moment. Georgia, the Senate runoffs in Georgia are very difficult. They are very, very difficult for the Democrats. Make no mistake. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, no, this is a given. They're going to win. They are very difficult. But this is a beautiful, unique opportunity. You have more money than Pence is. Why do you act so afraid of him? Why don't you say listen instead of listen? What? Oh, he's doing the Trump dance. That's so lame. All I'm saying is you. I wear my MAGA hat for this. You can send it to your friends. You have the fucking mustache on. Hold on one second. My mom put all my hats in this thing. Listen up, patriots. This is my warning to you. Patriot to patriot. Red-blooded American to red-blooded American. I need to tell you something. There is no better way to show the cowardly Republican Party full of fake friends who have abandoned the best president of all time, better than Ronald Reagan, dare I say it, who have abandoned our Lord and Savior Donald Trump. There's no way to stick it to those feckless cowards than by abstaining to vote. Use your political power, folks. Donald Trump has done everything for America. He's done everything for people like you, the common man, people like me. He built a wall. He cut our taxes. Thank God he did. My jet ski dealership was in a state of disrepair. Thank God he cut our taxes. He regulated key industries because fracking oil extraction should produce dangerous methane gas. Otherwise, how will I sleep comfortably at night? He did that shit for us. He did that shit for you. He worked tirelessly and never took a single penny. Gave all of his money back. And these goddamn lying demon rats and rhinos kept fighting him tooth and nail every step of the goddamn way. And now, Joe Biden, who stole the election from Bernard Sanders, has stolen the election from Donald Trump as well. These goddamn demon rats, they've done it. They've done it again. Now, I have that Bernie Sanders poster behind me as a joke. I have the voodoo doll puppet right there because I do torturous things to that commie fuck. Make no mistake. I am a red-blooded Republican through and through and a goddamn Donald Trump supporter. Do not question my loyalty. Look at my mustache. What does this tell you? I got the motherfucking caterpillar on my face to prove it. Even though I know Donald Trump does not like mustaches. Especially on that disgusting warmonger John Bolton. In any case, folks, I digress. You want to stick it to those goddamn Republicans like Brian Kemp, those rhinos, those Republican and name onlys. What you must do is use your power and abstain. Show the Republicans once and for all that if they don't fight for you, you don't fight for them. That's all I got to say, folks. So in the Georgia runoffs, I beg you to reconsider voting for these goddamn rhino Republicans that did not stand by our president, stood idly by and dealt with the cowardly demon rats who, of course, are trying to do communism in America. Because Perdue and Loeffler are both communists, folks. They're communists as well. So is Brian Kemp. TruthTellerEagleFuck.net. Go to TruthTellerEagleFuck.com to hear more of these profound truths, brother. I'm Hank Parker, and this is my message. Right in Donald Trump and Georgia runoffs. There you go. Yeehaw, Hank. Let's roll some coal and roll some rhinos. Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Has an $800 office chair and hangs a coat from it. Dude, in my GC is 100% sure of voter fraud because of a GA video. What would you say to him? You say, hey, if you think, what do you mean? If you think voter fraud actually happened, and President Donald Trump seems to think so. If you think voter fraud actually happened and Donald Trump seems to think so, well, you got to take action against it, right? To save American democracy. It sure seems like these Republicans are not interested in saving American democracy. So take matters into your own hands and show the rest of the country how Georgia really does it by abstaining or voting in or writing in Donald Trump.
Produced what they allege is new evidence of
An exciting race January 5th, but unless they straighten out what happened November 3rd, January 5th could be another carnival of chaos.
Yeah, how about those suitcases that were pulled out from the table in Georgia, that video?
Yeah. I was watching that last night. It's pretty hard to dispute that there's something going on that needs some explanation.
Right, and well, Griff had in.
Well, you guys are, I don't know, hosts of a very broadly syndicated, super popular news broadcast. Have you thought about doing an explanation? You know, I don't know, hiring journalists that are already under the Fox News banner to potentially do some investigative reporting on like what happened to the suitcases. I'm pretty sure it's relatively easy to figure out.
In his report that they have investigated it, and they said it was completely legit. That's what they say. But
then you heard those 4 or 5 people that stood up at the podium yesterday down there, and one lady said I could have rolled out one of those suitcases on the loading dock, thrown it in my car, and no one would have known.
It's all about the chain of custody. And of course, the reason the election.
Of course, again, and this is hilarious, but like, you don't know if those suitcases are full of Trump voters. Like, you don't know if those suitcases have Trump votes or Biden votes. So you just don't know. So stealing those votes would be meaningless if someone were to do that. Like you don't know who's voting for who.
Has had so many problems is because of the vast number of mail-in votes because of coronavirus. Coronavirus has
Steve, can I just say, I didn't hear that it's totally legit. I heard they weren't commenting on it. You said that they can explain the cases coming out from underneath the table?
In Griff's report, he said that they'd looked into it and everything was fine.
I heard that too.
That's going to be an exciting race.
Have you touched on Delaney's plan to tie the stimulus check to vaccines? No, I think it's also dumb as fuck. You can't do that.
Fulton County, and they produced
Although
what
the
they
host seems sure that the suitcase video could be proof of fraud, a reporter later says this is simply not true. What appears to be suitcases are actually normal containers ballots are put in. AKA, you didn't know what they were looking at. Oh, wow. Oh, so Fox News did do some reporting under the same banner.
They allege is new evidence of surveillance camera video showing Fulton County election workers. You see here illegally counting ballots with no supervisors present, affecting potentially some 24,000 ballots. But I just got off the phone with a senior source in the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger's office, a Republican, who tells me that they had a designated observer at that spot all night, the entire time, and they've seen this video and they're familiar with the claims. They said that they're simply not.
By the way, Fulton County is like deep blue. So stealing votes in that circumstance would be stealing Democratic votes. But again, I digress. Of course, we're not going to have that conversation. And the observer is a Republican, but he's a rhino! He's a fucking rhino! Everyone's a rhino!
True, the suggestion that Georgia vote counters were sent home and ballots were brought in suitcases, also not true, and that what appears is purported as suitcases are actually the normal containers that ballots are put in. That is not unusual, they say, for them. Meanwhile, and they produced.
As you can see from these numerous camera angles, they were counting votes with no one watching. Yeah. Of course. Nothing says, you know, stealing the vote in front of the cameras. They can do it. They can get away with it. God damn it. You've talked about your chicken several times. So there isn't a video of how you prepare it on YouTube or post it? No. There is. You're wrong. It's only deep blue because they were stealing the votes. It was actually a Trump landslide. Yeah. So that's the funniest. I mean, there's like, I would say that there are too many ways to debunk these psychotic screechings, right? And when there are too many ways to debunk it, maybe it gets a little polluted. Like maybe the argument gets a little bit more difficult than it is supposed to be. One, Republican Overwatch people say it's fine. It's that's how normal process works. Two, they say no one was watching. Republican person says there was someone watching. Also, it's literally on camera. Three, it's already a fucking deep blue, like, Democratic county. As in, if they were stealing votes, they'd be stealing Democratic votes then? So they're fucking hurting the Democrats? And finally, obviously these are matters that have been investigated thoroughly over and over again, and yet, for some weird reason, it is, and all of it has come across inconclusive. Nancy Pelosi's takes, in video form, I see. This video is even more deranged. Nancy said a 1.6 trillion stimulus offer from Trump was not even half of a loaf. Now they're angling for maybe 900 billion. Can't stand being confronted by this. And more or less says the earlier bit was a calculated choice to help Dems in this election. Yeah, that's so disgusting. Look, I have to apologize. I do have to apologize for even defending Nancy Pelosi for a brief moment. Okay, I'm sorry. The other side is, of course, horrible. The other side is, of course, still horrible. And she was functionally powerless in the entire ordeal. Mitch McConnell never said he was going to pass a $1.8 trillion stimulus package. It's something to remember. It is absolutely something to remember. Was on, it's you. Wait, what the fuck? Who is this? Yo, was this fucking Bad Bunny again? Yo, stop, dude. It's not fucking funny, dude. Her take at the time made sense. I think there's just no overstating how fucked up her lily white brain is. I mean, for me, the reason why I was correcting the record was because so many people made it seem like it was like entirely Nancy Pelosi's fault. And that's psychotic. It's not. It's not entirely Nancy Pelosi's fault. My problem was I took her takes at face value about what she said about her honest intentions of giving stimulus, desperately needed money to the American people. And I was wrong. I should have never fucking taken her word. And that she was, of course, as always, a horrible, awful, vulturous human being.
Accept half of a loaf months ago when you said, I'm not going to accept half a loaf.
Look, I'm going to tell you something.
Now,
Don't characterize what we did before as a mistake, as a preface to your question, if you want an answer. That was not a mistake. It was a decision, and it has taken us to a place where we can do the right thing without other, shall we say, considerations in the legislation that we don't want. Now, that is it. Now, the fact is, I'm very proud of where we are. My chairs.
Wait,
a
what?
loaf months ago when you said, I'm not going to accept half a loaf.
Look, I'm going to tell you something.
Now,
Don't characterize what we did before as a mistake, as a preface to your question, if you want an answer. That was not a mistake. It was a decision, and it has taken us to a place where we can do the right thing without other, shall we say, considerations in the legislation that we don't want. Now, that is it. Now, the fact is, I'm very proud of where we are. My chairs have worked very hard on all of this. They were not even happy with a proposal that we made the other day before we saw this proposal. They thought we had come back too small. So it's not about an individual, it's about how we address the needs of the American people. And we have to do it in a scientific way, and we have to do it in a way that recognizes people need food on the table. They need to get their rent paid. They need money in their pockets. They need their unemployment insurance to be there. They do not need a whole cacophony of other things that are on the agenda that have nothing to do with meeting their needs. So we're very pleased at where it is. And as I say, with a Democratic president.
Okay, this does not answer the question. This literally just means that your original positioning around not conceding to $1.8 trillion was doo-doo. It was horseshit. And that every leftist that fucking yelled about Nancy Pelosi at the time was right. And that that she was exclusively doing this to better position Joe Biden. And that at the very least, because Mitch McConnell was not going to ever concede, she could have made it seem like, yes, she's on board with it. So that at the very least, you could lay the blame directly in the hands of Mitch McConnell and force him and force America to reckon with the fact that Mitch McConnell was single-handedly responsible for this stimulus not passing, even though they made numerous concessions along the way. Now, I still think that if her honest intentions originally were to get as much money as possible, it was the right thing to do, considering the fact that she had already conceded numerous times. And considering the fact that it was still Mitch McConnell's fault. It's still Mitch McConnell's fault that no stimulus is passed. Make no mistake. It's not fucking Democrats' fault. It's Mitch McConnell's fault. Democrats have had like 11 fucking different proposals. Mitch McConnell does not pass any of it. And he refuses to. Even when Trump said we want $1.8 trillion and the White House said it, Mitch McConnell was like, we're not going to do it. So do not forget that. Can you please turn on subtitles? No, I can't. The reason why I can't turn on subtitles on Twitter is because Twitter subtitles will literally confuse you further, even if you are a deaf person or hard of hearing. Because it's never the actual subtitles. If there's an option to turn on subtitles, I turn them on. If there is no option to turn on subtitles, I don't. And again, I don't know if you can hear what I'm saying right now because I never have subtitles on the stream across the board. I need subtitles to fully comprehend what's going on. This is a very weird ESL thing. I know that I don't have an accent, so you often forget, but I also need to read subtitles to like fully comprehend what people are saying. It's the only way that I can truly understand what's going on as well.
President committed to a scientific solution for this with the idea that we will have a vaccine. It's a complete game changer.
I can't believe you're taking the Republican side. Would you rather have money in Trump or no money and no? What? Would I rather have money in Trump and no money and no Trump? I think that's not a question you want to ask the American people right now, brother, because if you were to ask people that are suffering, like, would they rather get stimulus now, but then Trump is still president? You'd be shocked at the answer that it might give you. I'm just letting you know. Like, it would not be the fucking, oh, sweaty, but Trump is a racist, meanie, bobini answer that you would be expecting. I'm just letting you know. The answer might surprise you. See, this is what's really fucking frustrating. At least be consistent. Leftists like you love to talk socialism, that, but all of a sudden you don't redistribute the vote our Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump, brain dead. Oh, good one. Yeah, I'm just letting you know that a lot of people, if given the option, would choose the money. As a matter of fact, if Trump was able to push for a stimulus, the election outcomes could have been even different. Just letting you know.
From them.
Now, the brilliant part about this, the beautiful part about what I'm stating is money is money. Doesn't matter who's giving you the money. Okay? So, hey, if money is good and it's an absolute necessity in this time of need for so many Americans, then maybe Democrats should utilize that to win over the American population with a stimulus that they're desperately in need of. Just saying, money is money. I changed my mind, dumb lib. You're radicalizing me. You're flat out right about the stimulus. The only good thing that our government have done in the UK is we get paid during lockdown. We get different packages. It's not nothing. Yeah. The worst part about it is, like, Republicans routinely block any sort of stimulus effort. And then once it's like passed, okay, with so much fighting over it, once it's passed, they take all the credit for it. Like, it was called Trump bucks. Trump put his fucking name on it. I don't personally give a shit, okay? I don't give a shit that he did that. Like, as long as people get money that they desperately need, then good, okay? Fuck it. But it's hilarious because, like, they literally prevent it from happening, and then once it inevitably does happen, they're like, yeah, we did that. But as always, if there's someone you want to fucking thank for Donald Trump's second term not existing, it's Mitch McConnell and nobody else. Candidate $2,000 monthly. The U.S. is the richest nation on earth, and a second stimulus check is getting blocked because GOP want corporate bailouts on austerity in exchange for it. Maybe if everyone in the U.S. incorporated as an LLC, Mitch McConnell would actually do something for them. No, because then he would say there are too many small businesses. Mitch McConnell doesn't give a fuck about small businesses either. I was against shaving the beard where you look good as fuck, like Borat's hot son. Sick jawline. Thank you. Yeah, I think people forgot that I have a jaw because I had a beard. It's just like the hordes of anti-vax Trumpers, which are like Trump invented the vaccination himself. Yeah, I don't personally give a shit. Can't wait to get my $2,000 a month when Biden is president. I'm sure he'll find that doing that in a country this size is wicked easy. Yeah, no, it's the size of the country. Economies don't scale, by the way. Like, the size of our country, like the size of the wealth of this country is not directly related to the size of the country. The size of our economy is just because the big-brained, billionaires are just like really smart individually, and that's why they were able to accumulate and create so much fucking wealth, So that's why economies don't scale. That's why you can never do social programs and social safety nets for large countries. But you can do it for smaller countries. It's so stupid. Like, it's such a dumb fucking take, dude. The one thing all economists agree on is that there is a positive relationship between population and GDP. Dumb take, chatter. I mean, that was a comment. Bro, you don't look overweight anymore? That's a compliment? Okay, fuck off, dude.
President Trump has not said if he's going to attend your inauguration yet. Do you think it's important that he's there? You're laughing.
I think it would important only in one sense, not in a personal sense, important in the sense that we are able to demonstrate at the end of this chaos that he's created that there is peaceful transfer of power with the competing parties standing there, shaking hands and moving on. I think that's an important, what I worry about, Jake, more than the impact on the domestic politics, I really worry about the image we're presenting to the rest of the world. You know, the rest of the world's looked at us, and you've heard me say this a number of times, I apologize for repeating it. They followed us not just because the power, or the example of our power, but the power of our example. And look where we are now in the world. Look how we're viewed. They're wondering, my Lord, these things happen in tin horn dictatorships. This is not, it's not the United States. So in that sense, the protocol of the transfer of power, I think.
I really, for some weird reason, okay, I gotta say something here. For some weird reason, and I don't know where this happened, but like, I also thought that, perhaps foolishly, that like it would be a little bit different, like that it wouldn't just be all aesthetics, and that the back the brunch candidate wouldn't just talk about how, you know, America is no longer going to be a bad look sweaty country, but America is instead going to be a good look sweaty country. But that's kind of what like they are very openly saying. Like it's very weird that like they're really not following this up with like necessary aid, policy positions, like things that they'll do. And it's no longer the election cycle, so what's up? Like, you don't have a fear of no longer being elected. Like, you can fucking establish positions that you advocate for. I mean, I thought that it was going to be fucking boring and annoying and marginalist, but half the time we're not even talking about marginalism. We're not even talking about policy at all. We're just talking about how Trump was a bad look sweaty presidency and Biden's going to be a good look sweaty presidency.
I think is important, but it is totally his decision and it's of no personal.
Trying not to rock the boat until Trump is no longer a distraction. I think they want to ride it out as long as possible. What do you mean? Wait, what? Bro, listen, guys, listen. This is not how this works. Republicans have no off years, okay? Democrats are baby killers 4 years out of an election. Democrats are baby killers right before an election. Democrats are baby killers before the midterms. Democrats are always baby killers, okay? They don't fucking have off years. Elections don't happen in once every 4 years, okay? That's not how that works. You have to fucking establish a base of support for the policy positions that you're going to advocate for, so you can actually fucking get some groundswell of people backing your policies, so that you can establish grassroots organizing efforts and put pressure specifically in certain races and certain senators that may be won over by intimidating them and influencing them to do the right thing. So Republicans know this, and they always fucking advocate for their causes year round. Democrats are like, oh, it's just the timing of it is wrong. It's the timing of this is wrong. Oh, God, well, you know, we don't want to rock the boat. There's no such thing as rocking the boat, motherfucker. There is no boat. The boat is already the boat is capsizing. Okay? And even to plug the fucking holes that are opening up left and right, you gotta say the boat is capsizing. We need to plug these fucking holes. If you're saying, well, the boat looked really ugly while it's literally fucking sinking. Well, the boat looked really ugly before. We're going to make some aesthetic changes on the boat while not trying to fucking plug the holes in. We're still going down. We're still suffering. We're still going to drown. Okay?
Consequence to me, but I do think it is for the country.
You've been in public life for more than half a century. This was
As
your
a
third,
kid, yep.
your third run for president, and you made it. You made it.
The idiotic take here is like, learn to use this to your advantage. Why should anybody vote for John Ossoff or Warnock? Why? Why should they do that? Explain why. They have to vote for Ossoff. They have to vote for Warnock because these senators are the only way that you will get stimulus. Barack Obama does this brilliantly. Why can't you be more like Barack Obama? Please, Democrats, be more like Barack Obama a little bit on the fucking on the PR front. Please, please, I beg you to be like, you got to vote for John Ossoff. You got to vote for Reverend Warnock. Because otherwise, these Republicans are going to not give you a single fucking penny. Okay? They're not going to give you a goddamn penny. Just like they haven't. You're desperate for cash. You need it. And they're not going to give you a goddamn fucking penny. Unless we have Democrats. Unless we put asses in seats and Democrats vote for the agenda that the American people truly need. If you don't do that, you're going to fucking lose because you're a goddamn loser. And you are going to probably fucking lose. Because you're a fucking loser.
What does it feel like, especially at this moment when this nation is in any number of crises, including the COVID crisis? What does it feel like? Are you daunted? Are you worried? Are you fearful? Are you exhilarated? What's the emotion that goes through you?
I'm determined, and I'm confident that what I've said from the outset, I've never changed my view, this whole campaign for over almost going on 600 days, exactly what had to be done. We have to restore the soul of this country, meaning honor, decency, honesty, basic, fundamental decency. The second thing, we have to rebuild the backbone.
Bro, the election is done. Like, who are you preaching to right now with this bullshit? Like, let's say you didn't want to rock the boat during the election. You didn't want to establish any policy positions because, like, it was a referendum on Donald Trump. Okay, it's over. It's over. Like, election is over. Tell us what we're going to do now. We're fucking desperate. We need help.
In this country, the middle class, that in this time bring everybody along. And thirdly, we have to unite the country. They're all going to be difficult to do, but I've never veered from those three principles. And so I look at it as an opportunity to make an incredible contribution to the country. But I am not, as I said to you on other interviews, I'll take responsibility. When I fail, I'll acknowledge it, and I will not deny that I made a mistake, and I'll move on. This is a little bit...
Oh, sick, dude. Give him a break. This is all the information his brain can contain at this point. No breaks.
Not unlike what happened in 1932. There is a fundamental change not only taking place here in the United States, but around the world. We're in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution where there's a real question of whether or not all the change in technology. Will there be middle class? What will people be doing? How do they? And there's genuine anxiety. That's why you're going to see me reaching out, continue to reach out, not just to the communities that supported me. I'm going to reach out to those who didn't support me. I mean, for...
Okay, so all this stuff is bullshit. What matters is this. Where is the Hill article? Okay, looks like Biden supports including $1,200. Good. Biden alerts Hill staffers. I think the COVID deal would be better if there were $1,200 checks in it. I understand that may still be in play. Views from the Hill on this, speaking with other senior aides in both parties. Direct payments are not in the deal because Republicans will only pass something with a lower total cost. They were passing the CARES Act because President Trump wanted checks with a signature in the mailboxes. Not speaking to the merits and objections of the reality, unless something changes dramatically in the GOP conference, adding the 1,200 direct payments back on the table could easily collapse COVID deal altogether right now. So, because these are the stakes, you have two options. You either fucking cave like a bitch and you say, oh no, Republicans don't want to give money to the American people despite the fact that they desperately need it, and despite the fact that the Trump cabinet knew that this was a necessity, and even those in positions of power under the Trump administration believe that we need to fucking turn on the money cannon for the American people at their time of need, okay? Despite the fact that all of that is happening, we need to cave to the Republicans. You can do that because you're a fucking giant pussy and you don't give a shit about the American people. Or you can use every opportunity that you have in front of the camera to fucking advocate and agitate for the $1,200 and be like, bitch, we want to give you money. You're suffering right now. We want to give you money. You haven't been able to fucking kiss your grandparents. You haven't been able to go out and have a sense of community. You haven't been able to go to movie theaters. You haven't been able to go on dates if that's what you want to do if you're younger. Your life has been irreparably and fundamentally broken as a consequence of this fucking pandemic. And what has the government done for you in that process? The government's done nothing for you. We gave you a little bit of money, and then we told you to stay the fuck home, and all we've done since then is fucking finger wag when our representatives are the same people that don't even comply by the rules that they want you, the fucking brainless peasants, to comply to. They go out and they have fucking nice-ass meals with their friends and family, okay? They get caught. They go out on vacation in their fucking private jets like the Austin mayor and tell you to stay the fuck at home. They don't even care. They don't even show that they care. They are very openly fucking showing you they don't give a fuck. And we are not doing anything for you. And the Republicans are stopping this entire process from giving you even crumbs. Okay? Agitate every single fucking day about how it is a necessity that Republicans are literally fucking stopping you from at least getting the crumbs that you need to survive. Okay? Don't fucking concede. Everybody likes money. And right now, it's not even about wanting money or liking money. It's about needing money. The Austin mayor is a Democrat, yes. So is Gavin Newsom. So is fucking Garcetti. Yeah, no, I'm shitting on Democrats too. I think you're mistaking what I'm saying here. My wife's boyfriend keeps making fun of socialism, saying it's for beta males. I feel like I'm going to cry. Please help me dunk on him. I don't know what to do. Hey, you know what you can do? You can take his Amazon Prime subscription and subscribe to this guy with a free Twitch Prime subscription. That will really get your wife's boyfriend upset. And you can steal his Nintendo Switch.
Real. Because I think a lot of people are just scared and think they've been left behind and forgotten. We're not going to forget anybody in this effort.
What goes through your mind as he prepares to take on the most important job in the world, and the outgoing president is lying about fraud, spending his time really focused entirely on trying to undermine him, whether that's the result of what he's doing or the purpose, I don't know. When he says that it's possible, when it's reported that it's possible, he'll announce that he's running for office to run in 2024 on Inauguration Day. What goes through your mind?
I believe that we are all very fortunate that Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. The American people deserve in their president to have someone who's truly patriotic, who loves our country, who puts the people.
Dude, this shit sucks, dude. Like, who gives a fuck? I mean, really? I mean, this is the opposite of what, this is basically the same shit that Trump did. Like, sure, it's not divisive and racial agitation, but how is this any different than what Trump did with, like, hugging and kissing and, like, you know, dry humping the American flag? Like, Donald Trump, what do you want to do for America? I love America. Look at me fucking the flag. It's the same shit. Yikes, dude.
Of the country first, not themselves, that's Joe Biden. Joe Biden is truly a kind human being.
What's the other
Joe
instance which you
Biden
wouldn't
is
even notice if I
someone
told you
who
just to come at
has
baby games? No baby games.
endured real struggle and sacrifice.
It's not. That's what people like. That's why he won. Hey, dumbass. There's no more election. Okay? He won already. Like, just keeping on with the, oh yeah, I love the flag. Or talking about how fucking patriotic one person is over the other is not going to put food on your table, you dumb fuck. Why are you still like, yeah, well, that's how he won because people love it. Okay, people love it. What people love and what's good for people are two entirely separate things. We're talking about what. Here's how Bernie can still win. Yeah, I don't know about Bernie winning, but I did win your mom by fucking her. That's why I have a mustache in my face, because she loves the mustache. Okay, get the fuck out of here with this. Here's that Bernie can win shit. Like, when you don't have an argument, you keep going, hey, here's how Bernie can win. Bernie lost, bitch, get over it. Okay? If I can get over it, then you should stop fucking using that as like a counterpoint or something. God. So obnoxious. Fucking neolibs, like.
And pain. He also is someone who knows love. He is...
sick, dude. Joe Biden is someone who knows love. Fuck.
Someone who has dedicated his life to public service. And there couldn't be a more extreme exercise in stark contrast between the current occupant of the White House and the next occupant of the White House. And I do believe our country is going to be the better for the outcome of this election. And the...
By the way, nobody can talk shit about what I'm saying here. I put my money where my fucking mouth is, and I voted for these pieces of shit, okay? So I get to fucking screech all goddamn day long if I want to. I did the right thing. I did the civic duty. I saved America with my one singular vote, right? So shut the fuck up.
The election of...
Turns out it doesn't work that way.
Vice President-elect.
Shocker. And I did it in motherfucking California, too.
Pfizer and Moderna have applied for emergency use authorization for the vaccines. Are you confident that if and when the FDA does give that approval, it will be safe and effective, and will you take it?
Of course I will. And but we also want to make sure that the American people know that we are committed, the president-elect and I talk about this all the time, that the people who need it most are going to be a priority. We've talked a lot about the need to take care of our frontline workers, as the president-elect was talking about. He and I, over the Thanksgiving holiday, for example, made a number of calls to nurses who are describing horrendous conditions in terms of the risk to their own safety to do the work of saving the lives of others. So we want to make sure that the people who need to get it first are going to be there. But of course we'll take it, and I'll take it.
Obviously, those frontline workers are important, but you are too, sir, and you will be the oldest president ever inaugurated. Do you plan to get vaccinated before Inauguration Day, and will you do it in public the way that Presidents Obama, Bush, and Clinton have suggested they're willing to?
I'd be happy to do that. When Dr. Fauci says we have a vaccine that is safe, that's the moment in which I will stand before the public and see that, look, part of what has to happen, Jake, and you know as well as I do, people have lost faith in the ability of the vaccine to work. Already the numbers are really staggeringly low. And it matters what a president and a vice president do. And so I think that my three predecessors have set the model as to what should be done, saying once it's declared to be safe, and then I think Barack said once Fauci says it's clear, that's my measure, then obviously we take it. And it's important to communicate to the American people, it's safe. It's safe to do this.
Speaking of Fauci, have you spoken with him yet? If so, have you asked him to stay on?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Tell me about the conversation. As he said, what more needs to be done from his point of view? Well,
look, my chief of staff has worked with him in the last crisis. He's been talking to him all the time, Ron Klain. I talked to him today. We spoke today at 3 o'clock. My COVID team met with him. I asked him to stay on in the exact same role he's had for the past several presidents. And I asked him to be a chief medical advisor for me as well and be part of the COVID team. And so what has to be done is we have to make it clear to the American people that the vaccine is safe when it occurred, when that is determined. And number two, you have to make sure, as he points out, you don't have to close down the economy like a lot of folks are talking about now. If, in fact, you have clear guidance and you're able to say to businesses, okay, for example, bars and restaurants are going to close, but we're going to provide you the wherewithal to not lose your business like the House had passed. And we're going to be able to reopen. We're going to be able to reopen in time and not to close down for long periods of time. We talked about masking. It is important that we, in fact, the president and the vice president, we set the pattern by wearing masks. But beyond that, where the federal government has authority, I'm going to issue a standing order that in federal buildings you have to be masked, and in transportation, interstate transportation, you must be masked in airplanes and buses, et cetera. And so it's a matter of, and I think my inclination, Jake, is on the first day I'm inaugurated to say I'm going to ask the public for 100 days to mask. Just 100 days to mask. Not forever, 100 days. And I think we'll see a significant reduction if we occur that, if that occurs with vaccinations and masking to drive.
Dude, this sucks. Like 100 days of mask wearing that's not even like a federal mandate or anything, and is just like encouraged, I guess. That really sucks, dude. Like that really, really, really sucks, dude. That sucks so much ass. Like,
drive down the numbers considerably.
Operation Warp Speed seems to have been a big success to get the vaccine going. I know there's a lot to criticize about how President Trump handled the crisis of the pandemic, but do you give him credit for Operation Warp Speed?
Well, yeah, look, the fact we got the vaccine is a good idea, but I mean, it's important, critically important. But as you know, Jake, one of the vaccines requires 2 shots, one shot. And the fact is that it's one thing to get the vaccine delivered in cases, some frozen, some not. And another thing to get the vaccine to move from the case to a vaccination in someone's arm. That's the really complicated piece. When I met with the Republican and Democratic governors and mayors, they said, we need help on how to do that. One was certain they were able to do it in their state. Just get me the vaccine, I can do it. But it's an incredibly expensive proposition. Incredibly expensive proposition. That's why we're continuing to hope that the Senate does something and responds to the immediate need to provide dollars. But we're going to need a lot more. It's going to cost literally billions of dollars to get this done. We could keep schools open, we could keep businesses open, but you have to be able to get the vaccine distributed. And Jake, the last thing, I think they started off with, based on my team that's met with them, with focusing on first responders, meaning doctors, nurses, focusing on nursing homes and nursing personnel. But we also have to make sure that when the vaccine is distributed, it's accessible to people who've been hurt the most, the brown and black.
Like, if you are a true leader, and if you are truly someone who could be pushed left, or if you care about progress beyond the aesthetics of progress, right now, you would be fucking screaming about the liability shield. Republicans only care about giving crumbs to the American people on the condition that businesses are no longer liable when they force you to come to work at times when you might have COVID or you might get COVID. Like, that's good Democratic politics. Like, you're supposed to be a fucking Democrat. Like, that's what a Democrat would do. That's what a good Democrat who wants to win would do. But, like, they're not even doing that. And the hilarity here is, like, people say, I'm a fucking asshole and I hate the Democratic Party, and that's why, like, you know, I'm wrong or whatever, or I don't have the best interest of the Democratic Party at heart or some shit like that. That's what I don't understand. Like, That's literally what I understand. It's like, dude, if you want Democrats to win, you gotta say something. Like, it just shows that like neoliberals are inherently reactionary to the left, where they also